up, everybody? It's your girl Sunshine. Today is Sunday, and I am currently cruising up I-40, headed to my delivery. And I was thinking, I have so much on my mind that I want. There are so many topics that I want to share with you guys that I can talk to you guys about. Like for the rookies, for the new drivers that are entering the trucking industry, as well as the experienced drivers or the drivers that have a little bit of experience and are considering getting into lease purchase, starting your authority. So many different topics I can talk to you guys about, but my brain is running circles, so I don't know where to start. So as I'm driving, certain topics just hit, and I'm like, okay, let's start. Let me just, I'm starting with the baby topics first, and I'm letting it build up. But today I want to talk to the drivers that are, or the people, potential drivers that are thinking about joining the trucking industry. And one thing I would like you to do first, I am not one of those people that will convince anybody that they can get into this industry and become a truck driver, because the truth is everything is not for everybody. So the real question that you should ask yourself is trucking really for me? Now, let me help you answer that question. First, if the biggest challenge of becoming a truck driver is your concern of whether or not you will pass the drug test, then trucking may not be for you. Because one, if you are battling any kind of drug addiction, the trucking industry has a zero tolerance for drugs and alcohol. One, you will be driving a commercial vehicle. You will be hauling up to 80,000 pounds or more, according to what division you get in, of freight. And we do not need someone out here that is battling in addiction or high or intoxicated, or if you do not care about the safety of or well-being of the other people around you, to where you will take drugs and drive this vehicle, then trucking is not for you. If you are dealing with some kind of, right now at home you have a lot going on, or you have, you're dealing with, you're stressed out, depressed, or emotional, too much stuff, then I wouldn't say trucking isn't for you, but don't think that when you get out here that everything is going to be better. When you get out here, it can be very, I would say lonely out here. There are moments where you're driving miles and miles, on stretches of highways, and there's nothing out there but just you and the white lines on the road. You have to be mentally strong out here, because if you're already dealing with something, then you probably don't need to bring that out here. Now, I find it very peaceful when I'm out here driving and there's just nothing out here but land and, things to watch or sightsee. But some people cannot handle that. So if you are, trucking is not for the mentally weak. Another thing, if your driving record in your personal vehicle was terrible, as in I had a student applicant that came to my, facility, and he asked, hey, can I get into trucking, or, what are the requirements? And the first question that I ask people is, how is your driving record? Because one, that tells a lot about your behavior. One, the key, you're going to be driving a commercial vehicle. How is your driving record in your personal vehicle? If you are out there banging up stuff, and this particular person, he had rollovers in his regular car. So what makes you think that trucking would be for you if you're out here banging up stuff with 4 wheels? When you get out here, you got 18 wheels. So that's more damage. You have more wheels and more weight. So that is more damage. So you need to ask yourself, is trucking really for you? We don't need more dangerous drivers out here. We're already, as drivers, we have to deal with the 4-wheelers that don't understand how trucks work and how we need our space and the weight that we're hauling. So that's one of the main questions you need to ask yourself. Is this really something that you want to get into? Now, on the personal side, if you have a spouse or girlfriend, for the young people that are trying to get into trucking, if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend that you constantly, you're like inseparable, you're in that time of your life where you're inseparable, where you have to see this person every second, look, most of those drivers do not make it in the trucking industry, because as soon as you get into the industry and you get into your truck, the first thing you want to do is go home. When you get your license for the first time, you need to get out there and get on that road and continue in your learning, experience out here. You don't have time to be trying to run home every single second to see your girlfriend or boyfriend. So that's something you need to consider. I've had people that I've trained that successfully got their license and got out there on the road and quit trucking immediately because their spouse, their girlfriend, was threatening to leave them. So that's something you need to work out and ask yourself, do I really want this career more? Do I value my career, or am I with someone that values my career more than this personal? Not to say that, but if you're with someone and they do not want to see the best in you in terms of you getting a career and doing something for yourself, and you're dealing with someone that is threatening to leave you for getting into this career, then that's something that you need to consider before you join the trucking industry. This same driver, he literally almost cried to get his license. Literally, I'm talking, I counseled him every single day. You can do it. You can do it. Motivational speeches. He finally got his license, got on the road, took a few runs. Girlfriend, I quit. So if that is you, then don't waste your time. Trucking may not be for you, or you have to make a decision in your life on whether you have to weigh what's more important, or you have to establish an understanding with the person that you're with and see where they're thinking, so that you can weigh your options. For the ladies, I have a lot of ladies that ask me, dang man, if I didn't have kids, I wish I could, get into trucking. That's another thing. You need to make sure that your home is together for when you are out before you get out here on this road, you need to make sure that your home and everything is together. You're gonna be out here. How are you able to, if you have kids, and if you have kids and you really want to get into trucking, you have to consider that you may be away from them for a certain amount, long periods of time, where you may not get to see them, certain major points in their life. So that's something that you can consider. I do have a female trucker friend. She has a son, and she has him in her truck, and he's not old enough to attend school right now, but that's something you can consider. If your child is young enough to where you can have them. Now wait a minute, trucking companies have different rules for having passengers in their age limit. So that's something that you need to look into. My whole thing is, do your research. Not only do you do your research on the trucking companies, but you need to check yourself and say, hey, is this really something for me? If you have road rage in your personal vehicle, and you're the type that, extreme road rage, where you are flicking people off, aggressive driving, all of that stuff, just completely bad temper, then trucking is not for you. Because when you get out here, you're gonna have people, all kinds of people cutting you off, jumping in front of you, and when you're behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle, that is not the time for you to express yourself and let out your road rage, because you will either lose your life or take someone's life in the process. So those are the things that you need to consider before you get into the trucking industry. Now, a lot of these things can be corrected, addressed. You need to check your driving record, and I've seen people with not so good driving records get into the trucking industry and change everything around. They correct their bad behaviors, and they become really good drivers. So it's really all about the sacrifices that you make. Do you really want this career? Yes, you're going to get out of here, and I can't guarantee that you'll make a lot of money, because everybody has their, everybody's way is different. But yes, there is a lot of money out here to be made. So these are the things that you have to consider when you ask yourself, is this industry for me? Should I get into the trucking industry? Those are some of the key things that I go over with people who ask me that question. So I hope you guys, found this video helpful. If you have any questions, comment below. And I do respond. I try to respond back to people, almost, when I'm at my stops for my 30-minute breaks. So I would definitely love to see you guys interacting with me more, because I love, helping and giving advice. If you have any questions, drop them below. Peace, love, and deuces.